My husband just lost his father in a motorbike accident. It was a freak, unexpected incident when everything that could go wrong did. It was tragic, and it has left the whole family reeling. My husband, age 39, and his two brothers worked with their father in their family business. They were together all day and built that business from the ground up. They fought, they laughed, they cried. His absence will be deeply felt. I would like to know how your spouse supported you, or how you would need your spouse to support you in this moment of immense grief. Although this was intended as a post to get advice on the best way to support my husband, your kind words toward me have really warmed my heart. Thank you all. Story 1. When I lost both my parents to COVID-19, my wife helped me with all the paperwork, including insurance, pensions, and funeral arrangements. It was a huge help, and I never could have grieved and gotten through all the red tape and paperwork myself. She was a lifesaver at that point. Story 2. First and foremost, nothing you do will make him feel better. A loss like this cannot be healed by words, actions, or anything right now or for a long time. Just recognize that you can hold him, say you are sorry, say it sucks, and it will show that you care, but that is all it can do. Second, you need to take control of everything else going on in your lives. You need to be 2 steps ahead. Do not ask him if he is hungry or what he wants for dinner. Do not make him make decisions. Just do it. If he starts to cry, bring him tissues. Lay out clothes if he needs them. Be proactive about what needs to happen. He will not have the mental capacity to be a normal human. You will have to pick up a lot of slack, and it will be difficult for you, especially because there will not be a reward of him feeling better by you doing it. But you are helping, and you will be the greatest gift he can have in this horrible time. Story 3. Don't make it about yourself. I have seen it happen dozens of times. A man suffers a loss, is grieving, and needs time and space. A woman thinks she is being treated unfairly and makes it worse by creating conflict or initiating breakup or divorce. Have some compassion for the man's loss. He is suffering. Give him time and he will return to his old self. No, this is not about you or something you did. Sometimes not doing anything except giving them space and being there when they need you is all you have to do. I am not implying you are doing this. I am only saying what to do and what not to do. Story 4. I think some men shut down for life when women act judgmentally toward them displaying sorrow. Just treat him like a human being, and it's okay to cry. Support him if he goes through a period of depression after his father's death, through thick and thin. Story 5. Listen to him and just be there for him. Do not offer a plan or any solutions. His emotions will be up and very down. The stages of grief can take 1 to 2 years. Ask him questions about his father if he feels like opening up. Remind him to take it easy when he is going into auto drive. Men tend to just get on with it and then 6 months later fall to bits. I lost my father and I remember my ex was just not there for me. She was out with friends a lot, not very comforting, and was critical when I was not doing things for her anymore. I was in quite a state and needed someone. I could not think about doing those little things for her anymore. To put a lot of pressure on the relationship. The fact you are here asking for advice means you are already there for him. Story 6. Having experienced deep personal loss myself, here are some things I think you should do. 1. Make yourself a safe place where he can be vulnerable and express all of his emotions, including anguish and sadness. He needs to feel like you are a safe place to express his feelings and that you are not judging him, losing respect for him, or seeing him as weak while he grieves. 2. You need to protect him from ridicule, judgment, and outside noise while he grieves. I do not know you personally, and I do not mean what I am about to say as a criticism. It is based on my lived experience. Many married women speak negatively about their husbands to their friends under the guise of casual conversation or venting. You need to protect your husband by not sharing his grief or related matters with others. You do not need people telling you how unfair it is that he is not doing certain chores and that you must take on more responsibility. Even if unintentional, you will internalize such comments, and this will affect how you treat him. If you need to talk to someone to process everything, speak to a therapist. He does not need to feel like a bad husband because he has forgotten some chores while grieving his father's death. 3. Give him grace. If you have experienced grief and loss, you know how disorienting it can be. If not, understand that it can shake a person in many ways, and it will take time for things to return to a normal rhythm. Be patient and know that he will not be himself for a while. Offering grace helps. Talking to a therapist instead of venting to friends who will take your side is beneficial. 4. Do not keep score. This might be the second most important point. People say that ideally relationships are 50-50 overall. But for a time, it may be 95-5 or 80-20, with you carrying most of the load until he finds his new normal. When he starts to recover, it is not helpful to take a weekend vacation, leaving him with all the pets, children, and chores while saying, "I did everything while you were grieving your father. Now you owe me a break." This just shows that you were keeping score instead of supporting him out of love. It also creates emotional leverage for the future. In every healthy partnership or marriage, there are times when you must support your partner when they are not at their best, and they do the same for you. This is one of those times. Story 7. I survived on alcohol and sex for about a week when my mother passed away. Everyone grieves in their own way. Please do not keep asking about it or his feelings. Story 8. Your husband most likely has no ability to make decisions. Take ownership of the things you can so he does not have to divert attention. My wife did this when my mother died, and it was the only way I could function. Story 9. Lost my father unexpectedly in January. What I needed was time and space to grieve. Then I needed my wife to be close. Come to bed on time with me. Sit near me. Put your hand on my leg or on my shoulder. Anything. I needed to hear, "You're not okay, and that's okay. I'm here for you." Story 10. If he wants space, give him space. If he needs support, be that support. When I had just started dating my now wife, my 11-year-old Labrador had to be put down because he had cancer that was untreatable, and it was not in his best interest to pursue treatment. He had stopped eating and could not walk. It hit me like an orbital strike. I just needed a week to feel the sadness and anger by myself and decompress. If you can feel him shrinking away, it is not because of you. He might just need some space to decompress. Story 11. Give him space and watch for signs of depression or sadness. Suggest a support group so he can process his loss. Story 12. Take your husband to his favorite place. Get him his favorite meal and hold him tight while he breaks down. Do not say a word unless he starts the conversation, or it is just to say you love him and you have got him. This alone will do so much to help that man. Story 13. What I want is for you to make sure I am eating and drinking water, because I am going to be drinking something other than water, and food will be the last thing on my mind. Story 14. I recently experienced a huge and sudden loss. My wife went through it with me. People struggle to find the right words to say in the right way. Trust me, even with their command of the English language, neither William Shakespeare nor Mark Twain would be able to convey it. Just sit there with him. Put a hand on him anywhere. Be with him. If he wants to talk, he will. If he doesn't, don't push. Just sitting there quietly in the dark with him is more support than you realize. Story 15. A lot of men report lower stress after physical touch from their wife or girlfriend. So I suggest some hugs or a light shoulder rub. Cook him something to show you care. He needs some time to process it, and then he might want to talk once he is ready. Story 16. Give him a hug. Make him a sandwich. Wait for him to be ready to talk about it. Come to you, and then be there for him and listen. Story 17. When my mother died, the thing that helped me a lot was my ability to tell the world what a wonderful person she was. Encourage him to talk about his father and the good he did for everyone. There will be many tears, but that is what helps with healing. Story 18. The most important thing to remember is that what you want is not necessarily what he wants. That is not a man versus woman thing. It is a human thing. Everyone is different. If he wants to talk, you listen. If he wants to be left alone, you leave him alone. If he wants to go out and party to take his mind off it, you either contact his friends or arrange a ride and go with him as appropriate. This is about him, and you need to be there to support him however he needs, whether it is a good idea or bad. You two are partners. The second most important thing to remember is that you cannot fix this. Nothing you do will make him feel better outside of the moment. It will take time and no one knows how much. Do not try to force it, do not get frustrated because it takes longer than you think, and do not think him cold if he gets over it quickly. The third, and I think I have mentioned this a couple of times already, but I am going to say it explicitly, under no circumstances do you ever judge how he handles grief. He is experiencing a moment of vulnerability, and if he does not feel free to be who he needs to be around you, then your relationship will never survive. Sorry for your loss. Story 19. Time to grieve. Help with workload. Find something positive to refocus on the loss. My wife and I lost our fathers back to back. We filled in gaps where we could. We bought each teenage son the top item on their wish list so they did not sink too low. Grandfathers would have wanted that. We helped each other with paperwork and arrangements as needed. Taking antidepressants for a time can help too, if anyone becomes overwhelmed. Do not be afraid to ask for help if needed. There is a big emotional gap that needs filling. We tried to be there for each other and made time to listen and reflect. Story 20. Do not think less of him because he has emotions and is in pain. Do not cheat on him and do not make this about you. Story 21. Get him around his men. He needs support from men right now. Men grieve differently than women, and he can only find closure from other men. My buddy said when he lost his father, a support group was helpful. I know a men's team like Mentor Discover Inspire can give him support. Story 22. Very likely he does not want to talk about his feelings. Instead, he needs space. He may also feel that giving you space will make you offended, and he wants to take care of your emotions so you are not upset that he is grieving. Finally, he will be terrified that if you see him grieving openly, such as tears or sadness on his face, you will lose attraction to him. So he will try to man up and make sure you do not see any of this, bottling it up inside. Source: numerous posts by men saying how their girlfriends or wives lost attraction for them after the men experienced a severe loss and did not handle it like a strong, stoic figure. Story 23. Oof, this hits hard. I was in almost the exact same situation nearly 3 years ago, with nearly every detail matching. That guy is in pain, especially if his dad was as simply great and lovable as mine. For me, my sister was my anchor. We lived in the same house for about 35 years, but have become a bit more distant since I got my own place at 38. This accident once again proved we are still as close as ever and need each other. Our mom died a few years earlier, so now it is just the two of us in the immediate family. Especially with the business aspect, I went into function mode after basically crashing for 2 months when I was only able to survive. I caught COVID-19 and norovirus on the weekends around my dad's funeral and had to bury my sister's cat the same day we undertook my dad. 2 holes in 1 day. I had to handle all customer worries since we had a very small business with customers much larger than us. I made sure the legal matters were set into motion and ensured our last employee was paid even though I did not have access to the business account. Meanwhile, my sister handled all the domestic tasks of preparing to sell the house where our office was located. Cleaning out over 20 years of our parents' belongings was daunting. So many memories were unearthed, but at the same time, we had to decide to discard most items to avoid clutter. Your guy is going through hell right now, probably the worst time of his life. There is so much to process, do, and organize. The best thing you can do is put your own needs on the back burner for a few months and offer practical support as well as hugs whenever he needs them. All he needs now is backup, a real partner. If you support him well through this, he will be very grateful later, even if it takes a year or 2. We enter partnerships because we love each other to the point where we want the other person to feel as good as they can. He probably cannot feel good at all on any day right now, and it is not your fault. Support him and do not add to his burden. He will get better with time, but it might take some time. Be the pillar of strength he needs, provided you yourself are stable enough to carry that weight. Also, please do not be jealous if he turns to other close people for support. That does not mean he does not love you, but that he simply needs their specific support at this moment. He will be thankful that this is not an issue in your relationship. I wish both of you all the strength in the world. Story 24. Everyone here is right. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. Go about your day, do your thing. I lost my father a few years ago, and that was the best thing my wife did to support me. It is the greatest, saddest final lesson our parents teach us in the end: to learn to move forward without them. Story 25. 1. Give him space and time. 2. Do little things for him that do not remind him of his father, and do not try to shift his focus to anything that is not already there, especially not on you. Have his favorite snacks on hand and take care of some of the household chores he usually does. All this is to let him process it in his mind. If and only if he opens up, be there and listen, but only listen. If he asks something, keep your answer short and simple. Men deal with grief, anxiety, sadness, and a whole range of emotions very differently compared to women. The majority of us shut down, stare at the wall, fire pit, or whatever, not really knowing what is happening around us because we are very deep in our own thoughts, which we do not discuss with anyone. It might take a couple of days or a couple of months. The more we stay in our head during this time, the better it is for ourselves. When we are about to reach our final process with whatever bothered us, we start to open up again. Until then, just let him be and be ready to listen if he decides to open up. Whatever he might say, do not use it against him or make fun of it. Story 26. Give him space yet also continue with life. Suggest activities for your husband to choose from when he wants to do something different. It will take time and it will be a while before the feelings become less raw. Story 27. I am so sorry you are both going through this. Just being there matters more than anything. Not fixing, not filling the silence, just being. Bring him food, sit next to him, hold his hand. Let him cry, say nothing, or repeat the same memory 10 times. Grief is loud and quiet at the same time. Your presence is the anchor he will need. Story 28. Honestly, just be there. Let him talk when he is ready, and do not push when he is not. Sometimes, just sitting in silence and knowing you are near is all we need. Grief is a long road, and feeling safe around you is the greatest comfort. Story 29. A lot of good advice here. Mine is to be patient and understanding with him during this time. He will be struggling with his emotions, and there is a very good chance that he will take it out on you at least once. This is not him. It is the grief, and he will be regretful about it. As difficult as it can be, try not to get mad even when he might deserve it for what he said or did. Sometimes silent company is the best way you can support him. Ultimately, you know him best, so just try to make him as comfortable as possible in whatever way you can. All the best. Story 30. As someone who lost both his parents within 4 years, I can echo much of the advice here. What is important to highlight is that every person grieves differently. One constant, though, is the unspoken support. Being there when needed, being the shoulder to cry on, and offering unexpected comfort. One thing that is not acceptable is when the person grieving lashes out negatively and blames their grief for bad behavior. Best of luck to you both and his entire family. My condolences. Story 31. Just let him know that you love him. Give extra long hugs. Keep an eye on him to make sure that he is not numbing the pain with alcohol or drugs. I am sorry for your family's loss. Story 32. You are wonderful for thinking to do this. I wish I had a partner who had done this when my father died. Here are some thoughts on things to say or do. I don't know how to support you through this. Grief is different for everyone and it's different every time. But I want to let you know that whatever you need, I'm here. Even if you don't know what you need right now, even if you just need me to leave you alone, I'm in this with you every step. I love you so much and I want to do whatever I can to walk this path with you and shoulder your grief. We made a promise to each other when we got married. For better or for worse, I will always keep that promise. You deserve all the love anyone can give you. Then just be around. I mean that literally. Don't force anything on him, but if he's in a room, be in that room. If he's going to the store, tag along for some reason you can invent. You have to do it in a way that feels natural and not like pity or hovering over him. One of the most important things, make space for how he feels and welcome his feelings. Hold them. Don't fix. Don't judge. Mirror them back. He needs to be understood more than anything. I will also say that it is very psychology dependent, but touch has a way of helping us regulate our nervous systems in a way that language can't. It's instant, it's deep, and it's a primal brain response. So hug him if he's a hugger, or shoulder rubs, or holding hands, or cuddling, or just passive touching when you're with him, your body pressed beside his when you're on the couch, holding hands when you walk down the street, etc. Whatever your physical language is as a couple, use that. Sometimes we need to know someone is literally beside us, literally supports us, literally cares for us. Touch does that in a way nothing else can. It will be a long road. There will be twists. There will be emotions that fly all over the place. As best you can, welcome it. Getting through this will be one of the biggest and hopefully most beautiful in its own way things you will do together. Story 33. Give him space. Let him sit in his silence. Let him know you love him and care. Let him know you are willing to listen. Not talk, not respond, just listen. He won't speak when you want him to. With men, it often comes at random times. Be flexible and patient. When we feel something, it can hit hard. Don't keep asking how he's doing. He will tell you. Trust me. If he looks overwhelmed, don't make a big deal out of it. Just help where you can. And finally, don't make it about you. Your tears, your pain, your emotions are yours. Let his be his. Story 34. Leave him alone. He will tell you what he needs in his own time. Do not pity him if he is acting normal. Let him be. Story 35. Just being there to listen and provide company. One needs time and space to grieve, and knowing someone is there is enough. Story 36. The simple singular fact that you have gone out of your way to ask how best to help him already tells us all that you are both going to handle this with as much patience and acceptance as it could possibly take. My deepest condolences to you and your extended family. Story 37. Give him space and let him know you are there for him. Offer to take over some household responsibilities for a little while to give him time to grieve. If his work offers paid bereavement time off, make sure he takes it. Most importantly, give him time. The death of a parent is incredibly unexpected. This will not be a quick process. It will take months. He should get into counseling for his grief as soon as possible. It helps to have someone not personally connected to talk to about this. Grieving is a very personal and private experience. He should be allowed a few weeks of somewhat neglecting his responsibilities before it becomes an issue. Routine helps, but the only thing that truly helps is time to grieve and process. He may be touchy, angry, or emotional. Let him feel these emotions without commenting, unless it appears it will become abusive or violent. He will likely be withdrawn. Do not pry. He will talk when he is ready. Be there for him when he needs it and let him know he does not have to face everything alone. Sometimes just being present helps. Sometimes giving him space and leaving him alone helps. Story 38. Just give the man a hug. Hold him for a while and let him know it is okay to hurt. That is all I wished for when my dad died. Still hurts even 11 years later. Story 39. One thing my wife did for me when my grandfather died that I will not forget is being okay with me being transparent. She never got upset when I was on autopilot. She held me when I cried. I remember getting terrible sleep that night, and when I woke up, she bought me a few McGriddles and a coffee. Story 40. If it is me, I will let you know what I need and when I need it. I do not want to lash out at you, and that is probably how it will go if you are doing too much. Story 41. Let him know you are there for him, but let him control the pace. Be kind without being overbearing. Just be available and help lessen his load for a little while. Story 42. Wow. These top responses are unhelpful. My father died suddenly 2 years ago. What I wanted was someone who was there and someone who was thinking of me. Someone who showed they cared about me through their actions, both small and large. I'm sure you are doing this to some extent. Asking what you can do directly to him is likely the worst move. I had a lot of people do this, and it was very unhelpful. I needed people to help me, not to give me the mental burden of satisfying their need to help. Being that close, it may be more viable, but I would phrase things you feel need to be asked in specific terms. Questions like, "Do you want me to do that for you?" are better phrased as, "I would really like to do that for you." I emphasize this because it was extremely common. As for what you can do, testing the waters of physical intimacy is a good idea. People react differently. Some want to be totally alone. Some think they do but don't actually. And others really need someone physically close. Figuring out what extent you can provide there, whether it is just platonic or sexual, is important. I would guess you have naturally sorted this out, but it is worth verbalizing. Chores are helpful, and taking on more responsibility than usual in that domain is reasonable. However, I would dissuade you from taking on too much responsibility. This has potential downsides, like long-term habit formation and removing agency from him, which may deepen his sadness. Every once in a while, if the dishes are done and he did not expect it, that is always great. But completely taking over everything is likely a bad idea. I would say you may be okay doing this immediately afterward for around a month at most. Otherwise, people need to do chores. It builds regularity and normalcy and helps you stay grounded. It is hard to get out of a rut when you never have to pick yourself up. The easiest and quickest ways to do that are laundry, cooking, cleaning, then exercise. I really loved cooking for my family after my dad died. It gave me something else to focus on. If your dynamic is different, you can ignore this. I think the largest, most important thing is to express clearly, honestly, and compassionately that you are a safe place to speak and express emotions, and that while you might not understand, he does not have to suffer alone. It is not about pressing him to vent, but making sure he knows. It is there, it is not a burden, and it is encouraged to the extent he is willing. The most important thing here is not what you say in this exact moment, but how you will act going forward from this moment. You need to reinforce that idea and never give him a second to doubt that you were 100% honest about being ready to carry that weight. How? It is how you react to other things. Pretend nearly everything is his father dying in some way. Being annoyed, angry, or generally reacting negatively in a strong emotional way is off the table as an instant reaction. You can express those feelings later or in a cool, collected manner. People do not feel safe when anyone reacts that way. You will take these emotions to other people mostly, unless they genuinely need to be addressed between you two, for example, if real boundaries are being crossed. For the smallest things, try to remember a small gift, trinket, or just something that might help him remember you or even his dad. Something he can look at and physically know you are thinking about him in this specific context. And or just random nice, small things. Those mean a lot to people, especially at times like these. Something solid, something to hold on to when the world is spinning. I would avoid literal images of people, but otherwise, go ahead. Generally speaking, just being there and participating in his life will be a huge benefit as long as you avoid inserting yourself as a point of attention. Right now, it is about him in the relationship, and you have to accept that. Because he will have a very hard time making space to take care of you properly, and if he does, he will not be taking care of himself properly. Losing people like this, especially where they are suddenly gone, is extremely tough. I can honestly say I do not think it is something you ever really get over. You just get through it and try to get the bigger pieces of shrapnel out of you. I have lost people to disease over time, and it is just not the same at all. Do not expect this to ever really get fixed. Not that I assume you do, but setting the expectation that this is essentially a terminal sadness is important. There is a lack of resolution that never sits quite right, a place in you that always hurts. It gets smaller every day, and I remember the good more and more, but when someone goes like that, it is like trying to sit right on a chair with two legs. His birthday is tomorrow. Anyway, I got caught up in myself there for a second. Best of luck to you and your family. My condolences. Story 43. When my dad died, I was too busy dealing with everything to grieve. The funeral, my mom's care, my sisters, my kids, my nieces and nephew, the house. It was 6 months later that I woke up in the middle of the night and just cried. My wife said, "I've been waiting for this," and held me while I let it out. She didn't say anything else. She was just there. Her support was crucial. She let me get things done, let me get away with not doing other things I should have been doing, and was simply there supporting me. Story 44. This is a tough situation. There is no simple answer. It is a tragic and sudden loss. No one knows the best way to respond. One thing is certain, your husband will need time to grieve. Your role in that process may change over time. He may need you close or he may need space. There is nothing wrong with asking him how you can best support him and letting him know you are there for him. Give him the time he needs, which may be considerable. Take care of yourself as well. The impact on your husband will affect both of your lives, and you cannot help someone effectively if you are not strong yourself. Also consider talking to a professional. Although there is a stigma, it may be exactly what you need to get through this and to be the best support for your husband. Story 45. I'm so sorry for your family's loss. My mother died in a car crash when I was 26. She was the person who understood me best, the one I trusted most. I didn't know how to process the grief, and I became selfish with it. I withdrew from everyone. My wife, friends, daily life. Part of me died with her. I drank more and more, trying to numb it all. It was a way of surviving, but it wasn't a way of healing. My wife didn't know how to handle it, and she didn't try to draw me out or help me process what had happened. We never talked about the real pain, and 5 hard years later, we were divorced. I was shocked, but looking back, we'd been living estranged inside the same marriage. So if I could offer anything from that experience, it would be this. Sit with your husband in his grief. Let him talk about his father and leave room for all the emotions, the love, the pain, the guilt, the anger. Help him feel safe expressing it. Grief that gets buried tends to come out sideways. Also, protect yourself gently but clearly. If he starts numbing or shutting down, you'll need to draw boundaries, not because you don't love him, but because you do. Encourage counseling when he's ready. Above all, stay engaged. Grief doesn't get solved, but it can be integrated if it's shared, spoken, witnessed, embraced. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Keep the windows open. Keep talking. This is shattering, but it isn't the end. Love can grow even here. Story 46. Keep in mind what you already know about his love language. If he likes physical touch, give him lots of hugs. Give him whatever he responds positively to. If he is not eager to talk, do not make him talk. Do not try to fix how he is grieving, even if you think he is doing it wrong. Story 47. Be prepared for the fact that the business is going to suffer now, and that will further worsen the situation. It does not matter how well they are doing currently. With family businesses and generational ownership, there will be changes. There will also likely be competition for who is in charge. All of these are major changes in his life. Save money if you can, because things can go badly. Story 48. Therapy can help you because it will affect you in many ways. Encourage him to attend therapy if you can. I am sorry for you and your family. I hope you find peace soon. Story 49. The best advice I can give is to just be present. He has to ride the wave of grief. Distractions help, but during low points, be present. Be attentive to his moods. Just be there with him. That is really the most you can do, and it means the most too. Story 50. Honestly, nothing you do is going to make anything better. Just be ready for him to be ready for you. Story 51. When I lost my mother, what would have helped was having dinner ready after I finished cleaning the house every day, helping with the clearing if that was happening, being with them to plan the funeral, and basically taking over 90% of their lives so they could do what needed to be done without worrying about the bins or feeding the dogs. I lost my mother in November, and my husband tried his best, but honestly, it wasn't enough. I love him so much, but he is terrible with these situations. Story 52. How would you support your best friend or sister if she were going through an unexpected loss? Be a shoulder to cry on, help manage the day-to-day chores, and do things to take away some of the burden. Give room for her to express her emotions without judgment. And if in doubt, ask her what she needs from you. I was recently going through a stressful period, and the best thing my wife did was check in regularly, ask if there was anything I needed, and reassure me that she had everything under control dealing with the kids and the mundane household tasks. Story 53. Be the one to drive him to places. His grief may make it difficult to focus on driving safely. He may tell you he is good to drive, but he may not be aware of it. Story 54. Grief numbs a person for a while. My grief therapist at hospice described it as positive because she is not sure people could live through it without the numbing phase. I see it as being in the ocean with crazy, chaotic waves, barely able to keep my head above water. As time passed, the waves had more space between them. My life began again in those spaces. I think it was a year before I started to look up and around me again. Time and space, reassurances, hugs. No big decisions over the next year, just baby steps, one foot in front of the other. Lots of patience. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.